Now, Bounty Hunter. Okay, the playground has started. I really like this hero pick, actually. Again, Bounty Hunter, really good, just base hero, lots of armor, lots of HP regen, very obnoxious, but not just that. You're playing versus Mirana, you're able to get kind of that gold boost up, and with how hero bounties have changed around, where the AoE gold definitely got reduced, I wonder if now Bounty Hunter, if you get those kills rolling with you, maybe you're going to see a team just completely snowball. And I like now they pick up a 4 hero like the Rubik, which means you have a 4 that can really take kind of control and really use those luxury items and that luxury gold if you do get the ball rolling. I think this also means that this is an offlane bounty hunter, which is going to be really fun.
That has to be the play here at this point, unless they're going to run some sort of IO core, but those days have long gone past. So we'll see what the bounty hunter can do, pushed into, I would assume, Moo's hands in the offlane. And yeah, as you said, this is where we get into that sort of playground area. Lots of stuff for Zoomers are willing to experiment with. They tried Z-Freak on the techies last time around, and now the bounty hunter will get a chance to really show what he can do in the new patch. Meanwhile, on the Infamous side of things, going in for the Slardar pickup. The question, though, with this is, what do they really plan to do with it? Because we saw earlier today, Thunder Awaken picked up the Slardar and then ran it for Pakaz as a carry. So we know that that's at least technically viable. Lumiere, I think he has done that before, position 1 Slardar, but not really sure if it's something he's going to want to do, but it's an option at least that 4Zoomers will have to potentially prepare for.
Yeah, and again, strength of last pick, you leave yourself with options. I do feel like it's going to be an Oscar hero just because you got the Snap Slardar lane. You're kind of able to bully the IO specifically if he ever ventures a little bit too close to the Tiny. But I guess it feels a little bit strange. Lumiere is one of those carry players that can definitely play just the absolute hard farmer, but the funny thing about Lumiere is he really doesn't play with the middle ground. He's either a hard farmer and you don't see him for 20 minutes, or he's playing Monkey, he's playing Magnus, and you see him everywhere. And I think Slardar might fall in the in-between, where he's a little bit more item dependent, and I think that's where 4Zoomers are definitely more scared of the more traditional Lumiere heroes instead. I'd be really sore right now if Infamous just picked like Medusa last overall pick. That'd be a boring way to end the draft, but I think now for 4Zoomers, banning out the Broodmother is really interesting, because I guess that's assuming that maybe you put the Tiny in the mid lane, and then it's not going to be the IO partner to then putting the IO with the Bounty Hunter, but then you have a 5 Rubik, and really there's only one guy in Dota right now who's okay with playing 5 Rubik. That of course being Insania, but you know, you got to be a little crazy to play 5 Rubik and make it work. And as much as I love the 4Zoomers players, I also feel like Z-Freak's gotta be the Rubik, right? That's his hero. I feel like he's the North American Rubik guy, you know? It's gotta fall to him. And okay, is there any way this is gonna be a Gunner or Coast to be like Bounty Hunter? It kind of feels like it, but this could also be the Gunner Underlord, I guess, laning versus the Kunkka mid, just kind of having the advantage there because you have not only the base damage advantage, but you're also just too tanky to harass out a lane. But it's Pitlord. It's Pitlord. Everything's up to Tiny now when it comes to actually playing the game, because really, Underlord walks at you, everyone else is going to need to kind of file in front.
Yeah, this leaves them so low on damage, really, unless this bounty has a play where, yeah, maybe they put him in a position 1 role and he just pops off in terms of the itemization, but it really just feels like Tiny has to do all the damage here, and everyone else is, I guess, there to help, but I don't know how significant that help is going to be, especially for an Infamous lineup. I mean, outside of the 2 supports, we're assuming Kunkka and Slaughter are going to be cores of some kind. They're relatively durable, and there's another durable hero to round out the lineup, the CK, coming into play for Lumiere. So,
oh, and it's going to be Gunner Bounty.
Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Not 100% sure how it's going to work mid on the bounty, but we'll see. But I'm just not 100% sure. You've got questions about your damage output on 4Zoomers against a lineup that doesn't present you many weaknesses among its cores.
Something that is a little bit peculiar, though, as much as CK has definitely kind of been shown in the limelight, CK versus Pitlord is, I don't want to say good. I feel like playing versus both the Root and the Firestorm, you take percentage HP damage. You are also playing versus the Aura, which again makes illusions just do ever so less, even though he does have very, very strong illusions. My big concern now is just that if Lumiere loses his ultimate, what does he provide for you? You're going to be looking at more so alone to finish off a lot of these heroes. Another big question is why would they pick Pit Lord into Kunkka? Because that's another hero you can just X bring back. That's where the escape mechanism in your ultimate isn't so much of an escape anymore. It's an interesting idea, I think, from Four Zoomers, and maybe they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. But I'm kind of concerned for both teams, less so for Infamous, but just more so with how Asika can actually operate with a Pit Lord in the field.
Yeah, we'll see if that's maybe kind of ace up their sleeve for Four Zoomers a little bit. Because, as you said, if the Chaos Knight doesn't really get to use his illusions all that much, you probably should have picked a different carry that could still kind of get you that damage without having to rely on those illusions. But plenty of questions in this one. We were talking at the end of game one, maybe Four Zoomers' time experimenting would come to an end after they dropped the first game. Not really looking like the case, so lot of questions. How much can Costabile do in a position 1 Tiny with the IO to help him out? How does the mid Bounty Hunter work? How effective can Moo be against, as you were saying, the CK in particular, the whole lineup in general? Maybe it'll work out for them. They got the 1-1 split in their earlier series today, hoping to do the same now to close out this day. But I don't know, man. There's so many things where I'm just not 100% sure how this will play out.
Yeah, we got a mid bounty hunter, right? We'll have to see. That's like a special, I want to say, for Thompson. I feel like I've seen him run that a few times, and hey, he does do a lot of magic damage if he gets to use it. But that's the problem. That's the question. Is he going to be able to use it? As well as really, I feel like he's going to need either. You look at the safe laner and you look at the 4 in this type of team to actually give you the damage to finish off some of these kills. Seeing how he builds up is also going to be fairly interesting, but at the same time, when all of the cores in your game are strength heroes that you have to gank, well, that's an instant D word. Poor Sladen. But when every single lane is a strength hero, ganking them just isn't fun. And I wonder what damage you can supply to your side lanes when you are the bounty hunter. I feel like those picks are really going to be few and far between, and getting picks is the name of the game when you're bounty. So I wonder how Gunner's going to circumvent that little problem he has. But they picked it for a reason, right? If anything, to experiment, but more so probably to have a little bit of fun here. And we'll have to see how it plays out.
That is going to be the thing. If your bounty hunter can't, hunt bounties, then what did you really pick him for? But we'll see. It's very much a momentum-based hero, and we have seen Gunner so many times before just win matchups he's not supposed to, as Costabile. Hi, welcome to the game. That's 4 heroes, multiple stuns, and a dead Tiny. As Infamous start off things maybe about as well as you could have expected. That Tiny is probably not going to miss out. Yeah, he'll just TP to the bottom lane, but it's a very nice kill for them to start things off with.
And honestly, now get to walk to the top lane. Of course, you are laning versus a Pit Lord who is just going to constantly shove into you, but that's where being a CK is kind of nice. You just get to take it under tower. See if he gets an earlier point up in the Chaos Strike, just so that way he can tank the creep aggro a little bit better, because he is just going to be sitting there last hitting under his tower for the majority of his lane. And looks like Z-Freak doing Z-Freak things. Just always makes a break for the creep wave no matter what, pretty much.
Yeah. Snapfire. I'm going to try to come over here, but this is kind of the thing. Affliction, to help out on that kill, went for the little Shredder. Did help them get first blood, but now Shredder is nice, but without the threat of the nuke damage or the stun from the Scatterblast or the Cookie, Moo doesn't really have to be overly concerned. I mean, he is still taking a little bit of damage here, and that's not ideal, but he's in no significant danger at this point. But Affliction, he's still just trying to do his job, pushing forward, being as annoying as possible, and maybe you can sap a little bit of XP here, but you do have to be careful of Z-Freak coming around on the other end.
Yeah, I guess the nice thing about this lane, though, is that's all you need to be scared of. You don't really need to pay too much mind over towards the Underlord. Meanwhile, Z-Freak, well, he's going to take a lot of damage. Just a really efficient play there, just pulling him underneath the creep wave. Just some nice damage traded out. If he wants the salve to be forced out, right? Just because, and he will get it. just because Pitward's already not taking that much damage, especially once he gets his Ring of Health, he's going to be fine. So just sapping resources.
Meanwhile, over on the other side of the map in the bottom lane, this is going to be a tough one, I think, for Infamous to really do much. We've got the tiny IO lane, and really the only play I think they can make, you need basically Bash into Crush into Arrow, and even then you're probably making that play onto Husky as opposed to the Tiny, because the Tiny's going to be durable already, and then the IO is going to keep healing him up. So I don't really know how much in the way of kill potential we'll actually see here, but that frees up Sladen to kind of do those position 4 things. You already see him moving into the jungle. You can try and take that rune in about 30 seconds, and could free him up for rotations towards the middle lane as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the danger. The Mirana stops showing. You don't really know what's going on here. Sure, Oscar needs to play a little bit more defensive in bottom, but that's also where, if the rotation doesn't look like it's going to work, Sladen can just kind of farm on his own. We'll see if he sticks around. I think he's trying to get a stack into maybe stealing the opposing team's bounty rune, which looks like the efficient play. I'm assuming, yep, exactly what he's going to do. Just doing what you can on this 4. And Oscar doesn't feel, honestly, pressured at all. Unfortunately, for Costabili and Husky, how much damage?
There's the X into the Torrent, into the Arrow. Can they do this, though? There's no Starstorm. No follow-up damage there. Alone. 1 second until the Tidebringer is back up. He does make the connection, but it's not going to be enough for the kill. But Gunnar is backpedaling pretty rapidly here. Sladen was still chasing after him a bit, so that's a nice rotation. They don't get the kill, but now Gunnar is not farming in this lane. Are they? They're trying to chase again. It's a level 1X, so cast range-wise, not the longest, but might as well try and bully Gunnar a little bit more. Only problem is now, yeah, here comes Zefreak in with the telekinesis. They'll throw out that shuriken toss, but this shouldn't be enough for a kill. Alone, though. Okay, hold on. A second toss comes out. That low cooldown really coming into play, and Alone, he wasn't ready for that much damage. Gets taken down. Over on the other side of the map, Moo does end up getting sacrificed with his support sort of rotating away, but you got the mid laner. You are more than okay with the trade-off there.
Yeah, not going to be too pressed for it, especially because Zefree gets a bounty rune on the way back, but you get to accelerate Gunnar's level 6, which is really nice, because as soon as Gunnar is level 6, he's going to want to duck and dive around Alone a little bit. I think he's not going to be able to withstand that ghost ship, especially if the Mirana shows back up in his lane, so we're probably going to see him kind of make an early exit and then go somewhere else.
Okay. Throws out next. No real follow-up, but what's going on in the top lane? Moo's getting hit up again. A lot of damage coming out to him now, and Zefreak trying to get in there for the body blocks. That may just be enough. No, Lumiere's too fast. He's got the power treads up already, so they're able to close the gap, and now they kind of want to go after Zefreak. He used everything that he had in that fight, so they can catch up. May just be able to bring him down. They still don't have the cookie, unfortunately. That is a bit of a bummer. The second point in the Shredder obviously gave them more damage, but they sacrificed some lockdown as Zefreak.
Lumiere like a hound. Oh my goodness.
Nope, there it is. Okay. Oh, maybe not. He lost him for a moment. But now they get the vision back. There's going to be the stun into the Rift, into the Shredder. Zefreak, he will not go down. He's just waiting so long trying to buy time, and eventually Lumiere would get him, but if you're Zefreak and you're kind of going down there no matter what, buy as much time as you can. Slow up Lumiere a little bit.
I honestly can't believe Lumiere even traced him that far. That was an absurdly long kill. But at the same time, mid, it's happening. And is this a solo kill? Needs one more? Yep.
He may pay for this one, though. Telekinesis is there. Moo comes in for that Firestorm, and look at the body blocks. Moo trying to keep this... Okay, trying to keep it in place, and they've got it. So you lose Gunnar. That is unfortunate, but you're at least able to trade him out. Alone actually tipped Gunnar after the play, but that is a nice rotation. You get Zefreak in there. Moo just kind of walked into position, and they're able to make something out of what otherwise would have just been a solo kill for the Kunkka.
Yeah, and really, you look at the XP bar on Gunnar, just one creep and he got his level 6, so he was really, I think, not assuming to give Alone that play, because he did get solo killed at the end of the day there, but at the same time, getting the retrade is all that matters. Unfortunately, though, you have completely forfeited the lane over to Lumiere. Lumiere has everything, all the power in the world. He's just going to farm up absolutely everything, look towards that really fast armlet, And then how Lumiere decides to put that pressure out onto the map is going to be kind of his own decision. But Lumiere showing up towards that bounty hunter's lane is definitely a scary thought, because the more heroes that get brought towards that bounty hunter's lane, the less Gunner can really do about it. And I think that's why Moo takes it up. Yeah.
Trying to get out. That's a nice crush. Gunner just gets a little too close, and that might be enough. Oscar's going to fall back to the tower, and if Gunner's a half step further back maybe and doesn't get hit by that crush, then I think they could keep on chasing. As it stands, he's only able to get the one shuriken toss out, and okay, Oscar lives. And this is one of the downsides, I think, of maybe this build for the bounty hunter running him mid. You don't need the invis of the shadow walk as you're in the 1v1 with the Kunkka, but that means he had to stay far enough back so that Oscar didn't see him. By the time he gets in, he's out of position. His move, speaking of out of position, he's going to get forced out of position by the Ghost Ship and the X. Husky, he tried. It's not going to be enough. Moo gets taken down. Now they've got the stun onto Gunner. Sladen's coming in. They need his arrow, but it was actually on cooldown for another second. So stars don't quite align there. If they had the arrow, they all might have been able to make that kill happen.
Yeah, and it looks like they do just kind of get walked back here. The aggression stops, get a full heal on Gunner, and Gunner, look at that, looking for the Orchid first. Get the attack speed, get the damage. It's really funny. That's the one shift. That's the one big difference this in the new meta. But at the same time, the only thing I'm concerned with four zoomers is just how much real damage do they actually have. Goes to be like he's going for the farming build on the Tiny. He's looking for the Echo Saber first, which, you know, does definitely speed you up, but the rest of his spells, if Costa be like TPs to a fight, he's not really gonna be able to provide very much here. While at the same time, you look at his counterpart and oh my god, they're rifting bottom.
Okay. They rift in, looking for the quick kill onto Oscar. Haven't gotten it just yet, though, and Oscar's sprinting his way out of this. There's Z-Freak, though, with the telekinesis. That should finish the kill. But the rest of Infamous have arrived. The arrow will connect. Z-Freak's the one to get sort of targeted up here, so they kill him, but they don't have the numbers. Affliction's on the run, trying to get away. Firestorm may just kill him. It's Gunner, actually, who gets in there to finish the job, and now if you're Infamous, you really don't want to be here anymore. Sladen has to leap away, and a trap sort of on top of the trap, right? Infamous were the ones rotating bot. Moo gets in there first with the gate, and well, by the time Infamous realize that they don't actually have more numbers than their opponents do, it's kind of too late. You're already into the fight.
Yeah, and no longer having the rift. You've got the Nidus network, so you can make plays like that, which is crazy.
Damn, dude.
I know, I'm so old. Like, Costa Bile is dead. Maybe? No? It's the 0.3 second interval change on the Avalanche, actually.
Oh, that arrow, though.
Costa Bile!
Tiny sidesteps it, but it does hit onto Moo, so he's just dead in the water for a bit. Starstorm comes in, not enough damage, but Lumiere pulls him back in to finish the kill, and Infamous. Now they've got to back off, though, because look at the angle. Gunner's coming in. Sladen's going to get hit by the shuriken. That shuriken didn't do anything. The range drop absorbed most of that damage, but Sladen does still go down. Lumiere's got to get out because the only HP he had left was from the armlet, so okay, Moo does get taken down, but four zoomers are quick to respond. Now they've got numbers up top. They could try for the tower. Where's their... There it is. All right, coming up, and Sable's got the damage. So this tower, it's going to get hit pretty hard, and I think four zoomers should be able to take it. Nobody's going to come up here to defend this.
No, and at the same time, unfortunately, Alone did pick up a DD rune, so Moo isn't actually able to intercept this push mid in time. Yeah, Alone just chops it down, so it somehow ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. But is it even a 1-for-1 trade? Oscar's already pushed in towards the bottom lane. He's getting tower damage of his own, and Moo is unfortunately a little bit overloaded. The tower defender just can't be everywhere at the same time, and so Oscar gets a nice tower last hit. He's going to get his lane stolen from him by the Chaos Knight, but with only 500 more gold till his Blink Dagger, Oscar is really making steadfast progress. And once he has it, then you've got another hero to lay on top of this boat, and Alone looking for the X. Oh, they're going to the Isle first. This is really smart. They're taking what they can get.
Kiss is even coming in too. Yeah, there's no way Husky gets out of that one. Alone gets the kill, and they're going to look for a little bit more. They caught Z-Freak out, and Oscar's going to be able to pick that one up. So they've got 2 kills on the board. It is just the 2 supports there, but push 4 zoomers back. And I think the most important thing about kills like that, even if it's just onto the 2 supports, you make it so that Gunner really can't do much right now. There's not, I think, solo kill potential for your bounties, so that track hold's not really going to be a factor for that little bit longer. allows Infamous to continue building up their own net worth lead. They're 2K ahead now, just 12 minutes in.
Yep. And honestly, looking at some of these early items, I think the strongest one they really have is looking towards this Costa Bile Blink Dagger after his Echo Saber. But at the same time, I'd love to see another Fiend's Gate play come out from them because it does feel like, unfortunately, in this lineup, they have the ability to be so many different places at the same time, but you need such a coordinated effort that Infamous are kind of out farming you just because their heroes are better at farming. And I think unless Four Zoomers change something up right now, even though it's a really cool idea and they do have the ability to make all of these plays, they're kind of few and far between as they are right now. And they're not really strong enough to punish Infamous, let's say, solo showing on a lane. Like, they would love to kill Lumiere bottom, but Lumiere is actually the one setting up on Mu, little does he know.
Tasm's up in 3 seconds. They're going to make the play. Chaos Bolt is there. Slayton gets the setup for the arrow. So I don't think Mu's getting out of this one. That's questionable, though, to bring Costabile in. I think they thought they were going to get there a little bit faster. Now they just have to sort of wait things out. There are a couple of heroes coming in from the side, but this just isn't going to turn into a fight unless... Alone. Scouted. The track onto him. That dust is a little bit late, but now, yeah, Z-Freak's just hiding. As he can. Affliction didn't. Actually, maybe he did see him. Yeah, he is pinging it out now. Caught just a brief glimpse of him. Z-Freak's looking for the TP. And he makes it out. Affliction didn't have the cookie. Oscar doesn't have the gap closing just yet. No blink dagger, so you're at least able to get your Rubik out of there. But they do still end up losing one. Mu goes down. Now they also know that the relocate's going to be on cooldown for a little bit, so this could be Infamous' chance to push a little bit further forward. Lumiere now has himself the Echo Saber as well, so they're going to look to get a little bit aggressive with this smoke.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate kind of misplays like that where you think the play can happen, the play doesn't happen. You take your Tiny out of farming for, a full 30 seconds, and they are hunting. They know which side of the map they got brought back to, and that's why they look for this play. It's going to miss, but Ghost Ship's surely going to hit.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's a bomb. Husky's low as well, but the reinforcements are here. That's a nice sort of return play, but Lumiere, yeah, he's just going to go to work, dishing out the damage. They take down Z-Freak. They're going to focus on Mu now as well, as Lumiere picks up the double. Wants to try and go for the triple, but Costabile is making a break for it. Meanwhile, Gunnar to the north actually won the 1v1 against Oscar, so he is sort of free to get himself out of there, but only because the Tiny is left in the middle of 3 heroes. Lumiere takes it down. Infamous will win the fight. 4 for 2. 3 of those kills going straight into that Chaos Knight's hands, so Lumiere starting to get a little bit big here. Top net worth by a pretty sizable margin at this point, in the BKB already queued up for him.
Yeah, and I think the reason ended up a little slobbing. Yeah, Gunnar. Ooh, no vision.
Just
they
need
shouldn't
the
be able
eyes
to get
on
him. Oh no!
They got him with the
Turning
dust.
around
They
for
just
the
need to
trap.
physically see. They get the hit. Gunnar taken down, and what can they really do here? This almost feels like a bait. You see Slayton coming up from behind with the arrow. I don't think Four Zoomers really want to stick around. They will realize that now as they back off, but that's rough. Gunnar, if he just kept running, I think he was going to be okay.
Even though he turned around for an instance there just to get the track off, and in that turn, he gets rifted. Maybe he thought the cookie was coming, that he was already kind of taken out, and now they're looking over at Roche. That's a really unfortunate circumstance, and I think Slayton probably sets up for the arrow now, but with Corrosive Haze, hey, this is what your lineup's great at. Look at how little armor Roche has now, and there's your 16-minute Roche, where if Lumiere takes this, and I believe he should take it, there's no one really big enough on his team. Not to mention that once he has it, not only is he not the target, Alone just finished his BKB. So what is Four Zoomers' target? They are kind of barreling towards this game where they need to wait yet again. It kind of feels like the first game a little bit, where the lanes and this early mid game has just gone so poorly. And okay, A's dead. A is farming a small camp. Their small camp. But that was the Orchid reveal on Gunnar at the very least. But we need to see, I think, some more plays coming out from Four Zoomers. Otherwise, they're really getting outpaced right now from Infamous.
And Gunnar talked about him being sort of a playmaker, perhaps, on this bounty, needing those track kills. 4, 2, and 3 is not bad, but that's sort of the word pedestrian comes to mind. That's a little harsh, but you need more. He needs to be just massively ahead right now, and instead you look at his net worth. He's lower than any core on the Infamous side, so Got to get it in gear. I think that Orchid certainly helps. You saw, obviously, they just took down Affliction pretty easily, but up in the top lane, Moo, this is not where you want to be. He's already lost his teammate as Z-Freak goes down, and now he's just going to dance around here while the X pulls him back into the Ghost Ship. It's going to be another kill. Sladen picks up both, and you can't afford to give up deaths like that right now. If you're 4-Zoomers, you have got to sort of claw your way back into this. Instead, they're slipping further and further behind.
And meanwhile, even though 3 heroes just showed top, Lumiere is holding 3 heroes of his own down bottom. It's kind of that doomsday situation, and okay, gonna do a nice little farming, pushing Phantasm, and everybody leaves, because unfortunately, Lumiere is not the target. He's not the one you want to try to kill. He's even crazy enough to look for Husky right now, and he won't get him, but this is also just gonna be a successful push onto the tier 2 tower, and unless there's counterplay somewhere else, it's going to continue to snowball out of control. And really, there's no end in sight right now. They're really struggling just to make any play happen. Alone's even Xing his teammate, just kind of poking fun at Sladen. But now, what do? You have to wait out this Aegis. I can only assume once he has this Aegis expired, you're going to have a heart finished up on Lumiere. That's another 1,000 HP you have to kind of chunk through. And it feels like the only hope right now is Coast to Belay.
This is always one of the benefits we talk about with the CK pickup. Yes, he's your carry, but you look at Lumiere, I mean, he hasn't built much straight damage. He went for the Armlet, he's got the Echo Saber, but now he wants a heart. And with the CK, you can kind of get away with this, right? You can just build yourself tanky, and the damage just kind of comes from the fact that you and your illusions just beat the crap out of people. And we were talking about Moo maybe being the counterplay to that. It has not really developed that, oh god, that way. And case in point, Moo's just going to get absolutely hammered in the middle lane. Looks like he's going to be able to get away at least, but that's what happens, right? Lumiere just got too much damage. You're not going to be able to stand up against him. And okay, any damage that he took from that fight, he gets a Chaos Strike with a DD rune, and he's already back up to full HP on the lifesteal as Husky gets picked off.
Wait, Alone is... Wait, Alone. Wait a second. No.
Yes,
okay.
so...
He testing the waters, you know, just seeing what's going on there.
Oh my god.
Oh, Lumiere, what is happening?
This is getting a little too clowny, boys. That is going to be the Aegis taken away. Silence comes in. And actually, if they kill him twice, this is a pretty massive mistake on Infamous's part. They need to be able to keep him alive, but they can't. Lumiere falls, and... well, maybe they were having a little bit ttoo much fun. Now Z-Freak comes in, stolen arrow onto the Mirana. That Ghost Ship, though, is really going to break that up. It does allow them to take out Gunner. And now they really have to deal with the Tiny. Look at Costable getting in here, trying to dish out as much damage as he can. But, yeah, once he loses the IO, there's really nothing left to play here. He actually just walked into the Torrent, but he's under a tier 2, so... Alone will salvage it, save the day, gets a triple kill so that it doesn't look quite as bad, but that's a little bit of a weird one. You're messing around with your opponent's Fiend's Gate, and your carry's getting picked off while you do so.
Oh, they didn't teach you that in Dota school? The old triple bait my enemies into seeing what the cool thing is on the other side of the map while we kill your carry? That's a classic play right there.
That's weird, man. Like... I don't understand letting enemies even go through the plane. It's just funky. But, I mean, whatever. It exists. I'm not sure if it's supposed to, but it does.
Actually, that is how portals work. They're not one way.
I played Portal. I know about Portal. Sorry, there's stuff happening. Alone getting jumped in on here. BKB activated, though. He's going to turn it around quickly, and Gunner is the one who falls. Can't let us do our portal shtick. You just got to get caught out, and now Husky's going to get caught as well. There's going to be the X into the Ghost Ship, into the Torrent. Husky is dead.
And really, it's our behavior is a product of the game that we're in, because this is just, it's rough. It's really rough. 4-Zoomers had a cool idea with this kind of, unironically, a global strat. It's their plan, and okay, Lode's dead. Goes to be like, killed him with the Hyperstone pickup. I just hope he doesn't die because he got 5-second arrowed, but
that's a problem. He's just going to get pulled in. Armor gone. Life gone. It was a nice kill. It really just feels like this is the way this goes, right? Anytime 4-Zoomers get any sort of play, they are paying a pretty hefty cost. Oscar... better safe than sorry. Pop the BKB, get yourself out of there, but... if you're 4-Zoomers, what can you do here? Aside from these occasional kills... oh, Sladen. That is very bold. That's way too far forward. He's going to get taken down. The Mortar Kisses, though, are flying in from long range. Z-Freak, however, does not get away. Or, excuse me, does not get taken down. He steals the leap and gets himself out of there. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what Sladen's plan was there. He was sort of looking for an alternate angle, but there wasn't anything to really follow up on. He just kind of marched into 3 or 4 enemies.
Yeah, and the power of the root right there, of course, Sladen did have the Guardian Greaves, but then just got rerouted, which is a gunner. Oh, they're bringing in everyone. They're bringing in Coach
has been
Belay.
deployed. They might still lose Gunner. No, actually, the stuns come through. Lumiere is in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to get thrown up in the air. Teammates trying to help him. Affliction is actually really helping him. Lumiere still not going down. Armlet toggling like crazy. But eventually they do finish him off. Gunner has to be sacrificed, but you get the kill. And now those reinforcements come in way too late. Alone and Oscar get locked down, and Z-Freak's really the only thing they're going to be able to get there. Moo TP's away. They get Costabile and Husky away on foot.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate that they do pretty consistently lose these trades just because Infamous come back, but at the very least, Costabile got a little bit of gold to himself, some more levels, which is incredibly important on that hero, especially level 20, just getting some more status resistance, but at the same time, we're really kind of biding our time here. If there's a full heart almost completely finished on Alone, which is going to make him even more problematic. Actually, is completely finished. I think he just needs to buy it. Now, getting chased completely out of the bottom. They're just never letting up, and Husky, oh, let him go.
No mercy. Didn't have tether up, and well, Oscar's going to be able to finish off that kill. This is just, it's not quite automatic, but they can just so casually find these kills. It looks like, or seems like, anytime they go anywhere, catching 4 Zoomers, and most of the time 4 Zoomers really don't have escape routes against these ganks.
No, and even though they're trying to be obnoxious, it's just both of these teams running at each other's high grounds. They really try to find a jump, and okay.
I'm not sure if that's enough. Yeah, Moo's already been taken down, and yeah, the Piney wants out. He's going to TP home. There was no cancel for it, but now Gunner reveals himself. He can get 1 kill onto Sladen. That is a track kill, so some extra gold for him, but now he needs to make an escape because Lumiere wants to track him down. Dust is wearing off in a few seconds, but it's not really going to matter. They've got the damage. Still had the detection. Gunner gets caught out, and again, sounding like a broken record here, but you make a nice play, and then you immediately pay for it.
Yeah, and it's not even like Infamous are doing everything in the cleanest fashion. It is very fast and loose right now, and especially Oscar just now getting his Blink Dagger. I feel like maybe this game would have been said and done a little bit sooner if there were some of those Blink initiations, but with second Roche, I don't think the Fiend Skate's really going to catch Infamous off guard anymore, not to mention it's the second Roche, so you give the Ag Shard over to Lumiere, giving him even more damage. Not to mention that Lumiere is also 500 gold away from a BKB. On for Zoomer's side, they've got great high ground. It's one of the big benefits of Pit Lord, but you know, you never want to just only say you have good high ground. Moo has itemized very well, though, especially looking for this Lotus Orb, which he will have by the time they do break the next high ground push. I'm more afraid of the duo here, because if they get caught in the bot lane, and okay, oh, they're playing.
Looking for Moo first. That arrow, I'm not sure if it connected or not, but they've got enough lockdown where it did not matter. They'll still take Moo out of the fight. Gunner stuck in between. Stun didn't hit, but the dust did. There's going to be the X. Gunner, well, make your peace. He is going to be taken down. That's so much lockdown. They've got X, they've got Crush, they've got Bashes, they've got the arrow flying through, so Gunner, I mean, he went for the Orchid earlier on. We talked about maybe that would help him in terms of being aggressive, but now that he's not able to find those kills, the lack of defensive itemization means he's just dead in the water.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it just means that this is going to be Rax. Having Moo dead for so long is really rough stuff, just because he is the one that stops this from happening. He's the one that actually makes it a lot easier to play the game, but at the very least, for Zoomers, they're trying to get this flip with play going, as Costabile finishes his AC for the bottom fight, but if this fight goes sour, we could just likely see the GG here.
Oh no, he immediately got hit up by the stun there, still trying to just have some damage. But he's been pulled back in by the Axe. The Ghost Ship is going to connect as well. not able to get onto the targets that he wants, and now they just need to pull him back. Good play from Husky, able to get the relocate, but he didn't actually pull him back all that far. Kosoplay's back into the fight whether he wants to be or not, and they are going to be able to take him down. Affliction dies in exchange. That's neat, I guess, but they're losing so much here, losing ground at least. The heroes are still alive, and that might actually be enough. Lumiere comes back up thanks to the Aegis, but while he was respawning, Oscar does get picked off, but that's just not going to matter. Alone continued the fight. He takes down Husky. The bottom lane of Rax should still fall, and buyback-wise of your 4 Zoomers, what do you have? You have buybacks on your supports. Really, that's kind of it.
Yeah, and you feel it. You feel the max HP burn, especially when these strength heroes do just sit there quite literally and take it, but they never lost sight. They never lost focus of killing the Tiny. They pretty much poured everything into him, and you're completely right. I think Husky was planning on just having the reset, having the Tiny still in the fight, but maybe the Fountain reset would have just been a little bit cleaner, getting him completely out there, but they were still fighting around having a Rax, because the focus did get off of the buildings. It was on the heroes for just a second there, but still lose the fight, still don't have enough damage, and now with Infamous refocusing back on the top racks, you did lose the Aegis, and we might see Infamous take a more defensive stance for just a little bit, but we could just be playing the waiting game where if they find Mu again and he doesn't have buyback, then the game might just end. And okay, nice nifty little Fiends gate play. They are farming the enemy Ancients, and wait, well, they're TPing now. Half the boys didn't make it.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but I mean the play still works, right? They get out there, they steal some farm, trying to really just delay this game as much as possible, trying to hold out, but yeah, this is where the problems start. The push is coming no matter what. Not even really going to wait for another Aegis. They want to go in now knowing that they have that advantage in terms of their durability. I mean, look at this. Alone and Lumiere, they're taking a fair bit of damage, at least on the Kunkka, but it's just not enough to really deter them. They keep on pushing, and the tower falls. Z-Freak stole Phantasm, so here comes a parade of Rubik illusions for whatever that's worth, but it's still not doing much to stop the actual push. The racks keep getting hit, and Infamous really have not been forced back.
Oh, jump.
Starboy goes in, Alone able to pop the BKB though, and now this is the problem. That Tiny needs help. Someone has to come get him. He is just running back to the fountain as fast as he can. His supports, they're getting picked off. Kosoplay's now alone. He is trying his best here, but there's just too much control. Pulled back by the X, hit by the Torrent. He will fall. Gunnar dead as well. Gunnar will buy back, but at this point, I'm not sure there's really a whole lot of agency that he has remaining in this game, as the Mortimer Kisses will fly through. Gunnar dies a second time. Mu will get caught in the fountain, and that's going to be your GG. Oscar does die to the fountain in the end, but they got what they wanted. Infamous close it out. It's a 2-0 sweep for them as they take out 4 Zoomers.
Yeah, and, well, it's Infamous, or rather, 4 Zoomers playground, but they kind of get slain on their playground. Wasn't a lot that they could do in that game. They didn't have enough in terms of the BKBs, didn't really have enough farm across the board. They just, again, couldn't get the ball rolling. They couldn't make the track bonus and the benefit of having that bounty hunter around just kind of work in their favor. And at the same time, Infamous is a good enough team that they are really going to hold you to it. Individual performances across the board, everyone felt incredibly solid. And even though maybe a little bit clowny when it came to, I want to say, some of their itemization, they definitely were so farmed, it kind of didn't matter. They just had everything they wanted and everything they needed to end the game. Where I think for Zoomers, just from the get-go, again, they have this cool idea. They have the global strat. They have, you know, kind of the bare bones, the skeleton of what could be a really cool idea, but just execution-wise, it's probably their first time ever performing it, and it kind of showed.
Yeah, it seemed like you said, they had an idea, a premise, a framework, whatever you want to call it, but then in terms of actually filling that plan out and having a clear-cut plan for how you're going to win the game, it really did seem like things kind of fell through quickly for them. So, for Zoomers, I mean, they take an 0-2 loss here. That is going to hurt them a little bit, but as we mentioned earlier on, both of these teams still have plenty of games to play. If you're 4 Zoomers, there's going to be opportunities to make these points back up later on down the line, and I assume they have to feel that taking a chance, trying out things like the bounty on Gunnar, trying things like Z-Freak on the techies in the previous game, is going to be worth potentially missing out on some points at this point in the group stage.
Yeah, and of course, there's no other better place to test it out, right? This is the field. This is the best opponents you're going to find. It's not a scrim. There's something to maybe lose here. But I think with this 2-0, Infamous maybe slide themselves even more securely into the upper bracket. But again, we'll have to see. Anybody could have a bad 6 games.
Yeah, there's still so much Dota left to be played by these teams, and like you said, somebody could slip up. We're still on a new patch. It's been, what, 48 hours? So we don't have all the answers in terms of how this patch plays out. Plenty of teams could still stumble. But for now, Infamous getting themselves a nice little 2 points there. They don't quite catch up to Lava, I believe. I think they're still a game or two behind them, but like you were saying, they move into pretty solid position for a upper bracket spot now. So congratulations to Infamous, commiserations to 4Zoomers. They end the day with a 1-3 record across their 4 games, but a little bit of that kind of their own fault for the experimentation. But that means we are now done for the day. 3 more 2-game series in the books. I guess technically 4 if you count the forfeit from the cut today, but we're not going to do that because I've arbitrarily decided that we won't. So you got a problem, send an email. I don't know. But we are going to be back in action tomorrow. Sorry, rambling. We will have some more action for you. Same start time, 1 p.m. Pacific. I believe we've got 4 best of 2s on the schedule tomorrow. That might be subject to change, but as it stands right now, we are going to be going a little bit later games. So that is for tomorrow. For tonight, though, we are done. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you join us tomorrow afternoon. See you later.